Hello, my name is Ramanpreet Kaur and today I'm going to present about Postal Services of Australia. A report has been developed on Postal Services of Australia in this assignment, and this report includes critical analysis of postal service industry. After evaluation of this industry, the importance of economics and how it can be applied in the practical business world is gathered. This report also helps to identify the factors that influence on the demand of the products and its elasticity in the postal services industry. Based on the postal services industry of Australia, the company that has been selected under this industry is the Australian Post. Now my second part is about introduction to the Australian Post. Australian Post is the company that is owned by the Australian government, and Australian government is only the one shareholder of the Australian Post, and this is the biggest post. Australian Post functions like it collects, processes and delivers products such as single parcels and multi-parcel consignments all across Australia and internationally as well. The government bodies associated with the Australian Post are mainly the two government bodies, that is Minister for Communication and the Minister for Finance. The Australian Post is governing under the APC Act, Australian Postal Corporation Act, which is founded in 1989, and the Australian Post was founded on 25th of April 1809, and its headquarters are present in Melbourne, Victoria, that is in Australia. So currently it is running 4,429 metropolitan retail outlets and 2,561 retail outlets in rural areas as well. Its estimated annual revenue is $6.8 billion approximately, as well as it has 232,732 employees working in it. Australian Post works in three major areas, means it has three major functions, and these are they include services associated with the letters, services regarding retail merchandise and other agencies, and services of parcels and logistics. Third part is like industry background of the postal services of Australia. The Postal Services of Australia is considered as the prime vehicle for communication in Australia, but due to the technological advancements, this industry has faced a major decline over the past 5 years. This has faced a decline in the This industry has faced a major decline in the past 5 years in the volume of the mail. Postal service industry is ruled by one of the leading companies of Australia, which is Australian Post, and Australian Post is the largest logistics company which dominates postal service industry in Australia. After the overall analysis of the current demand and market condition of postal service industry, it is expected that this industry will grow highly like in the expected 5 years. Fourth part is market structure of the industry. Like what can be the market structure of the postal service industry? The market structure of the industry is a monopoly structure. Monopoly structure is different from others as it contains the products and services which are unique. So the postal service industry is emerging as one of the demanding industries in Australia due to its monopoly structure. In the monopoly structure, minimum standard of services are required for the regulations, and it must be ensured that these standard of services focus beyond the profit maximizing level, means they should focus on increasing the output of the products and services to maximize the profit. This will further help in increasing the productivity of the industry as well as the allocating efficiency of the postal services industry in Australia. Fifth part is will be conducted by my friend Ranjit Kaur. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing good. As my friend Ramanpreet have already discussed about the introduction to Australia Post and the market structure, I will be going through the factors influencing the demand, supply, elasticity and so on. Let's start with the factors that influence the demand for the company's product. adverse change in the economy of Australia that can directly influence the business of Australia Post company's demand is going in a little negative way. And the second would be the advancement of the technology, which has influenced the company's demand both in positive and negative way. The third would be the increasing expenses of the fuel that increases the operating cost of the company, which ideally lead to an increase in the cost of the services provided by the company. So what happened is the demand for the product is still elastic, and as per the recent research on Australia Post. Talk about the factors that influence the supply of Australia Post. One of the important factors that influence the supply of Australia Post is the price and its services they provide. Secondly, the condition of the transportation influences the supply of company. Thirdly, would be the cost of the operations of Australia Post that has a major impact on company's supply. As you all know, Australia Post role is actually evolving in this digital age as well. It is actually known as a driver of economic activity, and customers really value it nationwide. Let's talk about the elasticity of Australia Post. Higher prices and cost of the postal services of this firm is actually making the customer drive away from the corporation. So there is an increase in the price rise, which leads to the reduction of the revenue for the company, and the price elasticity of chosen firm is actually giving high due to readily available competitive alternatives in the market.
3.
The study shows that Australia Post 1996 indicated that the cost of delivering a letter on a Wiluna eastwards mail actually run in Western Australia was more than $8. The nature of demand for mail that can be captured actually estimated the elasticity of the demand during those days. A number of studies around this world have sought to estimate the own price elasticity of demand for mail. So there have always been a study estimating the cross price elasticity for this. There are impacts of an events of on this industry. The increasing trend of online shopping in one of the events of the company, and then it has positively impacted on the company's growth, which has turned to a profit of company has it has been increased by almost 26% recently. It can be concluded that the postal industry in Australia is becoming actually in demand. The company has many competitive advantage in the market, especially as we are talking about Australia Post. Demand in Australia Post parcel services have increased almost like 50% during this 3 decades, and it's going to increase more and more by the time comes. The conclusion we can come to that is that the demand for Australia Post products is actually elastic, and the competitive advantage for them is Australia Post has merged with Star Trek, which has a competitive advantage which no other company can actually match right now. They have the most competitive rates, and